Happy Saturday, everybody. It's your girl, Wisdom's Daughter. Welcome back to the channel. I'm actually streaming live on both of my channels here at Wisdom's Daughter and on Bad Girls Talk. And so shout out to all of the members. If you're a member on either channel, shout outs to all of you. All right. Just want to give a shout out to those who are first up in the building. Jamie Jam, of course, says, hey, we got June's Poetry and Andrea in the building. We're going to be getting into what's been happening with the Diddy trial. So there wasn't much happening on Thursday. Yesterday was a big day. It was an explosive day. It was a day of revelations. And so many of you by now have heard that there is a witness that has been missing. At the time, we only knew her as victim number 3. Well, now we know who victim number 3 is. And many of us had our suspicions, and our suspicions would be correct. And so we're going to be talking all about victim number 3. And, let me just say this. The Diddy trial is not getting off to a great start. Diddy's defense team, he's been adding new lawyers onto the team. I don't know if that's necessarily going to help or hurt him. There's a new defense every week. So we're going to be getting into the defense of this week, okay? Because every week Diddy has a new defense, something that his team is figuring, something that a trigger that they want to pull to try to help Diddy as best they can in this case. And but there are new witnesses coming forward, and so as you saw in the title, I'll be sure is to testify. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for your girl. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, let's get into this tea. All right, everybody. Mary Broussard says hello, everyone, and Minded Business says happy Saturday. So, as I said before the intro, I'll be sure is going to testify. He, if you are not aware, is the biological father of Kim Porter's son, Quincy. And so there's Quincy in the middle, there's I'll be sure on the left, and of course Diddy on the right. And he's going to be testifying about Kim Porter. She is so beautiful. This is one of my favorite pictures of her. She looked really, really happy. It's a stark comparison to this photo where she looked totally like she was completely over it. This is her resting bitch face on steroids. Okay. At this point, she wasn't even faking any more smiles as she's clearly doing in this photo. She was just like, you know what, I'm done. And so he's going to be spilling all of the tea. Here's I'll be sure. I'll be sure is going to be spilling all of the tea on Kim Porter. He also has a book that's going to be coming out. And he went on, he actually did an interview on one of the news stations. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Some people are saying that, oh, he's just promoting his new book, but he really loved Kim Porter. Here she is with her twins when they were much younger. And here is a rare photo of Kim Porter when she was very young with all of the kids. And so, yep. So let's get into I'll Be Sure. We'll listen to what he's got to say. And then I'm going to give you a complete and full update on what happened on yesterday inside the courtroom, because it was going down in federal court. And Diddy might have just shot himself in the foot. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But right now, let's hear from I'll Be Sure.
And it's time. So you were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah,
60.
Right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, like, what happened to you?
Yeah, so,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about it in the book.
Yes.
What that
I want to get into that.
what that process is. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey, and as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through many, almost more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, just but not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying,
Posting,
Yeah.
I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
but this is about Diddy. So let's be
This
clear
about-
for
okay,
everybody that
this
doesn't
about
know.
Diddy, who's about to, his trial's about
Starts
to
on Monday.
start. Yeah,
Yes.
they're selecting a
But
jury.
you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand
because
why.
of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time, and I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participate in so and so, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
But you are in the book.
Yeah, right. But this, I will speak about where our paths cross and what's most relevant. It's something I've been trying to say for many, many years. And unfortunately, Roseanne, even with Sean being incarcerated, that's not a celebration. There's no celebration in it. First and foremost, there's way too much collateral damage, and in many, many ways. Many people's lives are affected. And in fact, a genre of music that I grew up in is ruined right now.
You blaming Diddy for that?
I'm blaming this entire industry and the way it's gone. And, there's no one person that's in charge, but this level and this magnitude of a story of detriment, of diabolical, just heinous, whatever's really going on. It's unfortunate.
Is Diddy suing you or threatening to sue you?
No,
No?
I have the truth.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. And again, there's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the
let me
only
ask-
reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. So this is not about a scared thing, It's it's just time to reveal the truth. I mean, it is what it is. I went through many, many years of scrutiny and being dragged face first on the concrete.
He definitely did. Let me just stop here for a moment. Yes, I'll be sure it's still looking good, honey. So a couple of things that he said. He may not be celebrating, and he's right. It's not really, something to celebrate because one man has, and I can't even say single-handedly, but ultimately, nearly destroyed an industry and took down and destroyed the lives or ruined the lives of so many I have to say allegedly, but there are some people somewhere that are celebrating. Um, I'll be sure also mention the fact that Diddy may have had, he believes that Diddy had something to do with his illnesses. And he's going to talk about, which he's been subpoenaed to testify. And although he said that, well, he's talking to his lawyers and whatnot, he's been subpoenaed. He said he's willing to testify. He's going to testify. I don't believe that he's going to get scared feet. Um, but he has a lot to say about Kim Porter's mysterious illness. You heard him say that Kim Porter was in good health. Okay, she was not sick. She was quite healthy, and for her to come down with some kind of mysterious pneumonia and to leave this world the way that she did, and it's no secret. I mean, there are rumors that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car, and Kid Cudi's car did get blown up after Diddy threatened to do it. So what can I tell you? What can I say? Okay. If Wisdom's daughter threatened to do something to another person, and then that very thing I threatened happened to that person, what would you believe? You would believe that I did it, right? And so the same goes for Diddy. But the other striking thing he said is he's the last one left alive, which is like, wow. I'm not going to play all of this news clipping, but what I will do is put a link to the longer news interview in the description on under the thumbnail, okay, in the description box on the video or on the live for those of you who want to listen to the entire thing. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and share with you what happened yesterday in the courtroom. So I want to go ahead and talk about that. So first things first, there was a lot of talk about victim number 3 and who, as I said, we now know who victim number 3 is. Victim number 3 was missing. So many of you, probably saw all over YouTube, there's a victim or a witness missing. She was the one who was missing. Now, this victim had decided that she was going to testify under her real legal name, not a pseudonym, as is an option. And she seemed very, she seemed like she really wanted to testify, very eager to testify, but now she is missing. And the excuse was that she lives too far away from the hearing. I'm not exactly sure where she lives, but I have a suspicion that it could be in Miami. And here is the person who we now know is victim number 3. This is Gina Hon, okay? I believe her name is pronounced Hoon. This is Gina Hon. She was an ex-girlfriend of Diddy, okay? She and Cassie, I believe, were dating Diddy around the same time. She often talked about being compared to Cassie and feeling some type of way about that. As pretty as this young woman is, look at how gorgeous she is. No self-esteem. We're going to hear from her in just a minute, because she actually did a public interview about 7 years ago, and that interview is the reason why we now know who victim number 3 is. I'll get to that in just a minute. So there is also a new victim. So the feds are bringing in a 4th witness to give testimony about the alleged heinous acts that were allegedly committed by Diddy. Now, interestingly enough, what this witness is going to talk about, he has not yet been charged for, but for them, it's evidence that he committed the acts that he, some of the things that he has been charged with. Diddy wants names, y'all, okay? He wants names. He wants to see faces. He wants to know who the witnesses are. Now, interestingly enough, there are some victims that are being allowed to testify under, using a pseudonym and anonymously, and then there's some witnesses that aren't. So that's a little interesting. But Diddy has people on the outside, and so the thought is that Gina Hon is in hiding, that Diddy might have gotten to her. Diddy may have potentially paid her off. And I'll get to that later as why I say that that's in my opinion that he may have paid her off. But Diddy's team has been trying to suppress evidence. However, Judge Arun Subramanian, he has denied it. Okay, he's like, yeah, no, that evidence is not going to be suppressed. And here was Diddy's. This is where Diddy put his foot in his mouth because he's talking to the judge and he's like, well, judge, you know, that person, they never, you know, they never said or they don't feel like I abused them or did anything like that to them, and I have proof. And it seems like you're making this person testify rather than they actually want to testify. So Judge Arun is like, well, if you had heard or seen the full affidavit, or not the full affidavit, but if all of the testimony from this person had been included in the affidavit, you would have known that this person gave a public interview. And it was stated in court by Judge Arun Subramanian. And so we're like, okay, well, who gave a public interview? Well, we know that this young lady did. She gave a public interview back in 2018. And so this is not going well for Diddy. Diddy has also tried to claim that he's a victim of domestic violence, y'all. I'm like, really? I can't with the nonsense. I'm going to get back to that. So victim 2 is going to be allowed anonymity. Like I said, some victims are being allowed to testify anonymous, some not. Victim 4 is an ex-employee. Okay. And so we've got victim 4 also. Victim number 1 is Cassie. We've got victim number 2, anonymous. Victim number 3 is Gina Hon, who originally said she wanted to testify under her government name. Now she does not want to testify. She's been subpoenaed. And so wherever she is, the feds are going to find her. And living too far away is not going to fly. And so, you know, if they have to bring her in by force, I'm assuming that could potentially happen. Now, just so you know, jury selection has been delayed until Monday. So here's the kicker. Judge oh God, let me just say Judge Arun because we all have a hard time saying his last name. Judge Arun is trying to finish out jury selection and start opening arguments all on Monday. That's going to be a crazy day. I don't know if he's going to achieve his goal, but that is what he's trying to do. He does not want this case or this trial to be delayed. And so if you ask me, it's probably going to be jury selection finalized on Monday, you know, at best, and then opening arguments on Tuesday, right? So as I said, victim number 3, which she's on the screen, has been subpoenaed, but she's refusing now to testify. This new victim number 5, again, is coming forth with testimony, and they're using that person's testimony as evidence. So here's Diddy's defense of the week. Diddy's defense of the week is mutual domestic violence. He's claiming that Cassie was violent too. First, he didn't do it. Then the video came out and he apologized. Okay, so he didn't do it, but he settled out of court with Cassie. But he denied everything. She's just looking for money. Okay, the video comes out. He apologizes. So first he didn't do it, then he did it, but he's sorry. Now he's claiming. Last week he was claiming that mental health made him do it. That he had no mental or diminished mental capacity because of the drugs and the alcohol. Okay, and then now he's saying that Cassie was violent too. His lawyers are now admitting that he, was physically violent. Okay. But now what he's saying is that it's on both sides, right? He was violent. She was violent. And they don't really have a choice but to admit that because of the Cassie video. That's the most damning evidence. They would be stupid not to admit that. But his legal team is really just grasping at straws. Okay. Saying that Cassie was violent towards him too. Look at how tiny Cassie is compared to Diddy. So just, yeah. And this is where I say that Diddy's doomed. Maybe he should have kept his mouth shut. But the last week, diminished mental capacity, and this week it's mutual domestic violence. Yeah, I'm not buying that, and no, and neither is the judge. So as I said, the judge basically confirmed victim number 3 that had gone missing right before the trial, and we're not really sure what has happened, with her, if Diddy offered her some more money, or if she's just really really afraid, or if someone else got to her, right? Diddy was claiming, this is the conversation again he had with Judge Subramanian. He was claiming that the warrants were filled with lies. He claimed that victim number 3 never felt like Diddy did her any harm, and claiming that he had proof. Again, saying that the court is forcing her to testify, and the judge was like, "Look here." If the affidavit had included everything, like her full and complete statement, it would have included a public interview. And like we said, we know that Gina went on Tasha K, and honey, she told it all. So listen to this.
I'm very like a chill person,
I can tell.
and so like I could walk into a White House and still be chill, but like inside I'm like screaming, "Oh my God." But when I came to his house, obviously I was like kind of like, I don't know, I guess like starstruck in a way,
You
because
made it
I
official, but he was off, of course, doing other things. The way these dates are kind of
we
lining up.
never like, okay, let's be official. We never ever had that conversation. We just kind of knew, like we just felt like we were together.
When we spoke the other night, you said that things had gotten so serious that you became pregnant. Not once, but twice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When was the first time you became pregnant with Diddy's child?
The first time was October 2014.
Okay. So this was like, what, a year after?
No, not a year, but because I met him in February and then I
Okay.
got pregnant in October.
Oh, so the same year.
The same year.
Okay. And you mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, "You're gonna get an abortion, right?" And then I was like, "I don't know. I don't know yet." And then he offered me 50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and I just I wanted to. I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
Was
wanted
looking
him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like, I don't want your money. I just want you to be nice to me.
Whether you decide to keep the baby or not. So would it be fair to say that he was an asshole about it? I mean, offering somebody $50,000 to abort a baby, whew, he must really want it gone bad.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, the first 4 months, he was really nice. But then after that, he started being an asshole. So like I say, like the first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me, and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad. I'm very like a chill person,
I can tell.
and so like I could walk into a White House and still be chill, but like inside I'm like screaming, "Oh my God." But
Hey, y'all, hold on just 1 second for me. I want to make sure that I got the right video file for y'all, because this original video had to be edited down, like seriously edited down. So hold on just 1 second. Let me just make sure I got the right video for y'all, because I did block out some stuff. All right. So y'all give me just 1 second. Just 1 second. Let me see. Let me see. Here it is. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I can find the edited version. And you know what? All right, let's just keep going. All right, we're good.
When I came to his house, obviously I was like kind of like, I don't know, I guess like starstruck in a way.
You
Because
made it official, but he was off, of course, doing other things. The way these dates are kind of
we never like, okay, let's be official. We never ever had that conversation. We just kind of knew, like we just felt like we were together.
When we spoke the other night, you said that things had gotten so serious that you became pregnant. Not once, but twice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When was the first time you became pregnant with Diddy's child?
The first time was October 2014.
Okay. So this was like, what, a year after?
No, not a year, but because I met him in February and I got pregnant in October.
Oh, so the same year.
The same year.
Okay. And you mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, you're gonna get an abortion, right? And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet. And then he offered me 50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and I just and I wanted to. I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that wanted him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like, I don't want your money. I just want you to be nice to me.
Whether you decide to keep the baby or not. Mm-hmm. So would it be fair to say that he was an asshole about it? I mean, offering somebody $50,000 to abort a baby, he must really want it gone bad.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, like the first 4 months, he was really nice. But then after that, he started being an asshole. So like I say, like the first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me, and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one and she's the good one.
And he was with both of you guys at the same time.
Yeah. And at one point, like I was breaking out really bad with acne, and he would be like, he said this a few times to me. He was like, baby, why don't you go see a doctor or something? I don't date women with bumps on their face.
Oh.
Yeah, he would say that to me.
Okay.
Thinking back now, I think he did it because he wanted me to feel low about myself, like so that I stick around him, because like no one would I don't know. I just feel like he'd try to I was naive and young when I met him, so I feel like he tried to take advantage of that and manipulate me and make me feel low about myself.
Okay. So obviously you terminated baby one because you loved him. How long after you guys started dating is when did the physical start?
The first time it ever happened, which was not even like that long into the relationship, because I met him in February, and then it was probably like May, the beginning of May. And so I turned over to Meek and I said, happy birthday. He put his hand out and he was like, thank you. So I reached his hand and shook it. And as I shook Meek's hand, he turned around and saw it, and he got so mad. We were in the, one of those Escalade trucks. Okay. So I was sitting on this side, he was on the other side, and he like grabbed my hair and like cussed me out. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
He was like, why the fuck you shaking his hand for, like, just saying
so
stuff
it was
that.
just like a jealous rage.
Yeah. It got even worse. And he took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
Wow.
And the only person that every time we get into like fights like that, the only person that ever helped me was D-Rock. Everyone else just kind of just allowed it to happen and just like looked the other way. I just thought that he was only being like that because he loved me. Because, I mean, I grew up watching my mom get beat by my dad, so that's all I knew. So I just thought it was normal, and it just mean he loved me. And I was like really in love with him, and part of me wanted to keep it, but he didn't want it. So, and mind you, it it wasn't my fault that I got pregnant. I told him that I'm ovulating, so don't do it. But he just did it anyway, and then I got pregnant, and he like, okay, just get an abortion, like no hesitation. I was like really in love with him, and part of me wanted to keep it, but he didn't want it. So we had agreed to get it, but I only agreed to it because he told me to. And then we went to Turks and Caicos like a couple of days later, and during that time he was like giving me drinks, like alcohol, like giving me drinks to drink, and I was just like, I'm not comfortable. He was like, you're gonna get abortion anyways. The other time was he had caught me texting another man. It got really crazy that time. We was upstairs and he like pushed me and I fell to the ground, and he started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head, and I was just like covering my face. He like stomped on my stomach like really hard, and I like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe, and he kept hitting me, and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop? I can't breathe.
So I know that there were a number of people who did not believe this interview. And it could be because of how she's talking. You know, there are some moments where she does get emotional, but she's smiling, and I can understand how people could look at her, not hear her talk, but look at her and say, no, she's making this up, right? Because we just expect everyone to be falling apart, to be crying, and you know, and all that stuff. But given Diddy's history and what happened with Cassie, like honestly, it's not difficult for me to believe her. You know, even though with the smiling and how she's you know recalling it, everybody reacts differently to trauma. It's not always like, you know, the whole crying, you know, situation. But it's just really sad for her to hear her say that she was stomped on and hit on the side of her face, and she's saying that Diddy was avoiding her face. I guess he learned with Cassie, you know, let me avoid the face. And you have some men that will do that. They will beat you from the neck down because they figure it's easier to cover up the bruising. But to hear her say that she watched her mom get beat, and for her that was normal, and you know, she thought Diddy loved her. I mean, the man was offering her 50 G's to get rid of the baby. I mean, if that's not evidence that a man doesn't love you, I don't know what is. But y'all get this. This damn fool, this is what Diddy says to the judge. He says, well, judge, what about the good things? What about the good things I did? You're only focused on what I did when I was mad. Really? Diddy, that's what you tell the judge? You tell the judge that he's only focused, or the court is only focused on the things you did when you were mad. So apparently when you're mad, you stomp on people's stomachs and knock the wind out of them. Apparently when you're mad, you grab hair and drag them up down the hall and kick them and carry on like you did with Cassie. Apparently when you're mad, you blow up cars. Apparently when you're mad, you use warfare to cause people to get mysterious illnesses. Apparently, when you're mad, you know, you force yourself on women or force them to get rid of the babies after you've impregnated them. You do a whole lot of stuff when you're mad. Diddy is crazy, y'all. I don't even know what to say about Diddy and the way this trial is going. Cassie alone, which I'm assuming is their star witness, and then you throw I'll Be Sure into the mix, and then the ex-employee is gonna come forward. They don't even need Gina Hon's testimony, to be honest with you. Like, she doesn't have to come forward, because guess what? This was a public interview that she did. She went on Tasha K and she did this interview. So they have her testimony. Okay, they can literally play this video. Now, what you guys just saw, I edited that down because that interview was a 1 hour interview that I cut into 8 minutes just to give you the meat and potatoes about her experience, because and I had to speed it up because Gina Hon talks very slow. She says a lot, which, I can't can't really judge her on that because I probably say a lot too. But she pauses, these very long pauses, and so I had to cut all that out so that we can get through the video. But y'all gonna have to just tell me what y'all think down below about all of this, because as I said, this is not looking too great for Diddy, if you ask me. I'm just saying. I don't think this is going to bode over too well for your boy. And the fact that he's telling the judge, well, I did those things when I was mad. Well, you just admitted. You just admitted guilt. So Diddy's case might be doomed from the start. We are going to continue to monitor the trial. It is set to begin, if all goes well, opening statements on Monday. And they want to finish jury selection. And after they finish jury selection, finalize the jurors. I think they're down to 42. They've got 42 more to go through. And then they will settle on the 12 and the 6 backups. So that's 18 individuals. Oh, Penelope, victim number 3 is Gina Hon. Based on what Judge Arun Subramanian said about that victim, claiming that she was, forced to, do some things that were redacted and, ex of Diddy, and that she did a public interview. And that was really what gave it away. Once he said that she did a public interview, this is the only young lady that was with Diddy that did a public interview. Yeah, Penelope said, oh, word. Oh, my word. Glam Girl ATL is in the building. She said that explains a lot. Yeah. So we don't know if she's been paid off or if she was frightened into testifying, but right now she's not responsive. But the interesting thing is, why weren't they able to reach her lawyer? That was her attorney. That was the interesting part. I could understand not being able to reach her, but they couldn't reach the attorney at one point. And we were like, wow, did he, where are the bodies buried? Because Diddy still has a lot of pull. That's why there was no way that the judge could allow him to get out on bond. I mean, can you imagine even with an ankle monitor and him giving up his private jet and all this other stuff? Can you imagine all the foolery and the shenanigans he will be engaging in if he was actually out? He's, according to what's been said about him, he is a menace to society. And so, yeah, that was a very good thing, keeping him behind bars. If you guys want to watch the entire Tasha K interview, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description after the live is over. See if you guys want to listen to the entire thing. But pretty much what she was saying about what was done to her is what you heard. And yeah, Diddy needs to stop sabotaging his case. I don't think he needs to add any more lawyers. I think he has enough. It gets confusing when there are too many cooks in the kitchen. Can you imagine 8 or 9 people trying to run a kitchen? So who does the sous chef and the fry cook and the other smaller cook, who do they listen to, right? And so you have too many people. Sometimes you have disagreement on what the defense is going to be in the vision. And yeah, this is going to be a circus. Let me just say that it's absolutely going to be a circus. Make It Make Sense is planning to be in New York. All right. Those of you who are not aware, he said he might have to be up in that courtroom. But your boy was looking at hotels and it was like $3,000 a night. $3,000 a night. So yeah, I mean, if my apartment wasn't already rented, I would offer it to him. But anyway, That's all we have for tonight. This is a shorty but a goodie. As I said, we will continue to follow this case. I will be live tomorrow night on Bad Girls Talk to talk about some things. So look out for that. We're gonna have a deep discussion about what's going on in this country, because my question is, why do white people want to use the N word, right? There are some white people that want to use the N word or feel like they should be able to use the N word because we do it. It's an interesting question, interesting conversation. I want to do a deep dive into a couple of stories. So we'll be live on Bad Girls Talk tomorrow night to talk about that. All right. If you did not give us a like on the way in, give us a like on the way out. Happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, and I'll see you on the next one for sure. Bye, everyone.